Morning all. Quite a few people have sent me a message asking about my pool, so I thought I'd do a quick video to show you what I've built and what it can do. That's my garden and that is the pool house. Let's go down for a closer look. So this is the pool that I wanted. There's no way I can afford that. £7 for the pool, £7 for the fast lane. So I took to eBay and got it for a fraction of the price. Now this is my garden before we started. Where the shed and the conifers are at the back was just about big enough. So this is us ripping everything out. And the next slide then will be the concrete base that we had to put in. It's about 6 inches thick with some reinforced steel because the pool weighs about 12 tons. This is the shed that I built. Obviously building it in the winter, not ideal. But once the roof is on, it's all nice and weather tight and we could start building the pool inside. So the pool itself is almost like a log cabin, like the actual building. So it just stacks together, slots together. And this is it. It basically touches 3 of the walls. I've got no space in the building apart from the pool. But that is the pool finished. That's what it's supposed to look like. And then you put a plastic liner in there and fill it up with water and away you go. So the pool pump and the lights are both controlled by Wi-Fi plugs. I can turn the lights on from my phone so I don't have to get my any switches wet when I've got wet hands. This is the little walk to the garden, past the rack of Speedos. And we're into the pool. Now like I said, I've got almost no room in the building at all apart from the pool. So it's a bit of a squeeze. Getting in's a bit of a faff. You've got to watch your head. But once you're in the pool, it's absolutely fine. You've got loads of space. Now, obviously, I didn't need my own pool. But training for the channel, I wanted a pool that was about 15 degrees so I could be prepared for the cold. And the other good thing about it is it lets me practice drills, like a bit of broken arrow here, and it lets me film things. So I can film underwater, I can film on top of the water, I can really work on my stroke. So when I walked out here, you might have seen this silver thing. That is insulation. I wrapped the whole pool in insulation to try and keep some of the heat in. Because obviously when you put the heater on, you're paying quite a lot of money to heat the water. And it just evaporates into the night sky, especially when it's like cold overnight. Now I normally keep this pool about 14, 15 degrees. So it's ideal for channel training. This is the insulation that I try and keep over the top of it overnight. That's 100mm thick polystyrene, 8x4 sheets, and that is the solar cover, so it's basically bubble wrap. It just rolls out over the surface of the water. And another problem with me not having enough room is I just have to stack it up at the back of the pool. The water is about 8 foot wide, maybe 14 feet long, and it's about 1 metre and 5 centimetres deep, so 3.5 feet. It's just about big enough to swim in. So the endless motor itself is actually in the garage. That is just the blower. In the garage there's quite a big electrical motor and it drives a hydraulic pump, and the hydraulics go into here, which drives a hydraulic motor and a propeller basically. So in the pool there's no electrics at all, it's all hydraulic. Now the endless unit itself comes with a remote control to control the water. You basically got on and off, faster and slower. That little display tells you the pace of the water per 100. I don't really need to explain that, do I? You turn it on, you press faster, you press slower. When it does turn on, I said earlier, it's quite a powerful electric motor, so it really does sort of dim all the lights in the neighbourhood. And you can see the water turning. And that is 144 per 100. It flickers a little bit on the camera, but I promise you it's stable in real life. Now, if you want to see how fast this thing can go, it maxes out at 114 per 100. That water is absolutely belting along. Now I reckon I can hold that for a little bit, a couple of seconds maybe. I'll try and show you how powerful that water is. It's fast. To keep the water clean, you've got to dip it once a week probably with a slide that looks like that. And that changes colour on a couple of different things. So the first one there is pH, the second one there is chlorine, and then we've got alkalinity and stabiliser. Now depending on the results of that, you get to chuck some, that's chlorine in there, so you get to chuck a couple of granules in every week, but it pretty much takes care of itself, to be honest. I don't really do much at all, just check it once a week maybe, and that's it. So jammed in the corner of the room, which I apologise, I can't really show you, there's a filter pump down there, there's an electrical heater on the wall, and there is a filter down there. And basically it pumps the water through the filter, through the heater and back into the pool. I think that's just about the complete tour. So total costs, I think the pool I ended up paying about £3,500 for on eBay. The shed was another 1,800. I probably paid maybe 500 quid for the concrete. Electrician probably cost another couple of £100 to wire it all in. So all in, I bet I didn't get much change from about 10 grand. But in the current climate, it was worth every penny, I think. Running costs, the main one is heating. So I keep my pool quite cool at about 14, 15 degrees. If I turn the heater on for 2 hours, it increases the water temperature by 0.4 of a degree. Now there's 12 tons of water in there, so it does take a long time to heat it up. And if it's frosty overnight, I can probably lose 0.2, 0.3 of a degree overnight, even with all that insulation. 3 kilowatts probably cost me 50, 60 pence. So you can see how much money the heater costs. The actual running costs for the pool, though, are fairly cheap. I mean, the chemicals are pretty cheap. The power to run the endless is the next most expensive thing, I would think. But it's still going to be a lot cheaper than it is going to a public pool. Hope that answers some of your questions, and perhaps I'll make some drill videos next. Take care, guys.